This is WCPO 9 News.
Well, thanks for joining us on WCPO 9 News. I'm Allie Kramer, and here's a look at some of today's top stories. We know one man is dead, another in the hospital after a kayak tipped over in a Brown County lake. Rescue crews, they spent hours at Grant Lake Saturday looking for two people who were in the water. According to Brown County dispatchers, a man tipped over in a kayak and another man on the shore went in the water to try to save him. Rescue crews found one person and airlifted him to the hospital, but did not find that second man before he died. And the Cincinnati Zoo says its male polar bear, Little One, was euthanized Saturday due to kidney failure. At 31 years old, he was the second oldest male polar bear in the U.S. population. Now, he was born at the Cleveland Zoo and came to Cincinnati back in 2007. The median life expectancy for a male polar bear is just 21. Well, Matthew 25 Ministries is putting together a truckload of supplies to support victims of tornadoes in multiple southern states. They are sending personal care items, cleaning supplies, bottled water, tarps, and trash bags. If you have any of those items you'd like to donate, you can do so at Matthew 25 Ministries. It's right off Kenwood Road there in Blue Ash. And you know what? We had a beautiful day today if you were able to get out, but cooler temperatures are headed our way as well as that chance for some rain, Sherry.
Yeah, we'll have some rain, Allie, and a few storms in the overnight, so make sure that you have that Storm Shield weather app or that NOAA weather radio next to your bedside. Could get some of those storms anytime between the 1 and I'd say 3 or 4 a.m. And some of those could be on the isolated strong to severe side, with the greatest threat being some large hail and gusty winds. We could also get a nice downpour out of any storm that does develop during the overnight period. By the time you get up, though, temperatures are going to be again in the mid-50s and rain chances will be diminishing. In fact, by 4 p.m., our highs will only be in the upper 40s. It's going to be a good 20-degree difference from Saturday's highs, but we'll stay dry for a couple of days before tracking more rain midweek.
Rescue crews spent hours Saturday here at Grant Lake in Brown County trying to find two men. According to Brown County dispatchers, one man in a kayak tipped over in the lake and another man on shore jumped into the water to try and save him. Search and rescue crews were trying to find and save both of those men Saturday afternoon. The call came in around 4:15. Several departments were on scene, including the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and the Bethel Tate Fire Department. Mount Orab Fire and EMS led the search, and Loveland Water Search and Rescue actually pulled one of the men from Grant Lake. Rescue crews put that man into air care and flew him to UC Medical Center. Brown County Dispatch says the second man was pulled from the water, but he had died, and neither man was wearing a life jacket. The search wrapped up shortly before 8 p.m. From what first responders know right now, they say that man who went in and tried to help did not know the kayaker. He simply saw someone in trouble and jumped in to try and help out. First responders did not release the condition of the man who went to the hospital and did not say if he was the kayaker or the man who jumped in the water. We're still waiting to find out the identity of the man who died. Reporting at Grant Lake in Brown County, Josh Bazan, WCPO 9 News.
As if we didn't have enough to worry about these days with politics and the pandemic, now people are receiving strange debit cards in the mail, and it could be either a scam or your stimulus check. Evelyn Schott opened her mailbox the other day to find an unexpected delivery to her Clifton home.
Debit and Visa.
It was a U.S. Bank Relia card, the card that more than a dozen states use for unemployment benefits, including Ohio.
At first, I thought it was my regular ATM card. And when I saw that it said Relia card, I got a little nervous.
That's because Evelyn never filed for unemployment, so she called the number on the card.
They took my information. They also suggested that I file a police report.
U.S. Bank says it's aware of this fraud, which can happen if a thief files for unemployment under your name and social security number. But U.S. Bank is just one debit card to watch for. Many states, like Kentucky, use Bank of America debit cards. Still others, like Indiana, use KeyBank cards. So be suspicious of any debit card showing up that you are not expecting. So what should you do if you get an unexpected debit card in the mail? The Federal Trade Commission says don't just cut it up or toss it. Someone could be applying for benefits in your name. The FTC says report the unwanted card to the bank. Contact the state unemployment office and place a fraud alert on your credit with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. But a caution, if you receive a debit card from MetaBank with a note from the Treasury Department, that's not a scam. That could be your $600 stimulus check, so don't throw it away. Evelyn says it's all very confusing. How did someone get your social? Usually from one of many recent data breaches. So don't throw away any unexpected debit card. Covering the rebound, John Matarese, WCPO 9 News.
As of today, 71% of individuals 65 and over have received at least one shot. That's important because seniors sadly account for 80% of COVID deaths.
As the vaccination numbers continue to rise, there's more good news regarding the storage of the Pfizer vaccine. The European Medicines Agency has new data which shows the Pfizer vaccine can be stored at normal freezer temperature for 2 weeks. The new storage option gives more flexibility with its distribution, as the Pfizer vaccine originally had to be stored in expensive ultra-cold freezers. Colorado prosecutors are still searching for why the shooting suspect killed 10 people at a grocery store on Monday. A Boulder district attorney says finding the motive is the focus of the investigation.
The victims' families and the community are desperate to know the motive. We want to know the motive, and that's going to be the focus of all our efforts going forward. Whether or not we're able to determine it remains to be seen.
21-year-old Alyssa is expected to face additional charges in the next couple of weeks. The district attorney says those will include attempted murder charges stemming from the gunfire exchange with responding officers. The storms that spawned tornadoes killing at least 5 in Alabama struck western Georgia on Friday. Firefighters went door to door in Noonan to do safety checks and to help with downed trees and assess structural damage. Tornado warning sirens went off, giving the city's 40,000 residents 15 to 20 minutes advance notice. At least one person died in Georgia.
Very catastrophic damage, just stuff that's unbelievable. I kind of think about this kind of stuff when you look out in the Midwest.
The new American Rescue Plan will help millions of Americans and businesses immediately, but economists say it won't help unemployment return to normal for years. We spoke with one who explains why it might take so long.
We are in a jobs hole that's on the order of 12 million jobs.
Where most labor economists might see numbers,
It's just enormous.
Heidi Shearholz sees people.
I see the real people's lives. It's not abstract.
I missed the first part because my son was making a lot of noise. Can you repeat that, please?
People like Stephanie Dudley, who now knows the loving struggle of a life as a full-time mom having lost her job last March.
I feel like they're at 11 of the average boy scale, if it were to go up to 10.
Hi.
For the better part of the last year, they have been her reality.
What's it been like spending a lot of time with your mom when she's been at home?
I don't really know.
2 sons, ages 11 and 8, who provide distraction from the daily disappointment of not being able to find work.
I think overall it's sluggish.
Although unemployment right now is well below its April 2020 high, it is still nearly twice as high as pre-pandemic levels.
This will help so many people. It's just a sort of a groundbreaking package.
Heidi says the American Rescue Plan passed by Congress is imperative. She says those $1,400 checks will be a huge boost to people and the economy, but not necessarily unemployment, even though more loans are coming to businesses.
It takes more time, to have a business get formed, built, happen, hire people. So it's not going to happen overnight.
In its most recent report, the Congressional Budget Office said the U.S. economy would reach its pre-pandemic output by this summer, which is faster than expected, but says unemployment won't reach its pre-pandemic level until the year 2024.
We know that things will be improving by then, but we are still going to have a big jobs hole on September 6th. There won't be enough jobs to go around by then.
It's why Heidi wishes the unemployment benefits were extended longer in the plan, knowing this issue will be around to stay.
I'm not really playing a game or anything, even though there's a switch right here.
Even if it has given some parents the opportunity to mom like never before.
But together they can be pretty rowdy, but a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I'm Dan Grossman reporting.
A new study shows almost half of healthcare workers across the country are still not vaccinated against COVID-19. Medical experts say those numbers are concerning for many reasons.
What about you? Like, do you know people who didn't get vaccinated?
I do.
Despite being a frontline healthcare worker during the COVID-19 crisis,
It's been a challenge working long shifts here.
registered nurse Deborah Torres was concerned about getting vaccinated for the virus.
I wanted to see how my other coworkers that were getting vaccinated, how they did.
She waited a month after it became available. Then Torres got the Moderna shot. She says it caused all kinds of physical side effects.
I got the chills, nausea, dizziness. I had a fever, and I was very fatigued. And that lasted for an entire day.
Torres works at a major hospital in Southern California.
I know people who get bad reactions when they get the flu shot, and so they don't want to get the COVID shot.
Where many of her coworkers are still reluctant to get vaccinated.
It's not that they're anti-vaccine, it's just that they're hesitant right now because it's new.
A new study by the Kaiser Family Foundation in partnership with the Washington Post found 48% of frontline healthcare workers, nearly half, are unvaccinated, which is concerning for some medical experts.
So it's also a patient safety issue. If you get vaccinated, you're much less likely to give COVID in the workplace.
Dr. William Shafner is an infectious disease specialist with Vanderbilt University Medical Center and a consultant for the CDC. He understands the concerns healthcare workers have about getting vaccinated, but says when they don't, it could increase transmission rates and also impact others' decisions.
If the nurses don't get vaccinated and people ask them and they discover that the nurses are wary, of course, because nurses are trusted, the neighbors and friends will be wary of getting vaccinated also.
While Torres did get vaccinated, she still supports her coworkers that haven't,
I don't have any judgment towards them, and I don't think any different from them.
saying it's normal to be nervous about something new.
I think a lot of people, for the most part, it's a safety issue.
Even when working the front lines of a pandemic.
If you don't want to get vaccinated, it's your choice. It's your free will to do that.
I'm Kai Beach reporting.
As we process a pandemic and the shootings in Atlanta and Boulder, it's okay to feel stressed and anxious. Health experts explain what we're experiencing and what we can do to help. Time and time again, we see mass shootings send a ripple effect through our communities, causing fear, sadness, and a mix of other emotions. The recent shootings in Boulder, Colorado at a grocery store killing 10 and in Atlanta at massage parlors killing 8 can be difficult to digest.
When something like this happens, everything gets turned on its head. I almost think of it like a balance. I feel completely safe. I feel like if I go outside, my life will be in horrible danger. It kind of shifts the balance over towards that fear side of things.
Dr. Joseph Sochet is a psychiatrist. He says this just compounds with the emotions we've already been feeling throughout the pandemic.
During COVID, anxiety was up, depression was up. People that were predisposed to have paranoid thinking had more paranoid thinking. Once you're kind of primed to be afraid, you can be more afraid.
Health experts say we were already dealing with this flux of anxiety and stress.
It's almost like we're already set to be sensitive because we've been dealing with so much stress over the past year. There are two types of stress. There are those things that we can get control over, and there are those types of stress that we have no control over, right? Like a mass shooting. Like, when's the next one going to happen? Well, nobody knows.
But there are processes we can think through to help ourselves and others.
The best thing that you can do when you're feeling stressed is just to say, I'm stressed. Like, just own it. Our fight or flight response is in the amygdala part of the brain. And when we acknowledge that we're stressed, it actually goes to our frontal lobes where we problem solve. And then you can kind of unpack it. It's like, what am I stressed about? You know, what am I worried about? And then you can look at, is this something I can get control over?
Dr. Carl Clark, president of the Mental Health Center of Denver, says from here you're able to get your stress levels down. Another tactic, he says, is to pick a time of day to be stressed.
What it does, though, is it allows you not to be stressed 24/7.
And finally, focus on self-soothing techniques.
One of the basic ways to self-soothe is repetitive rhythmic motion, dancing, running, physical activity, meditation. There's all kinds of things that people can do.
As we've been told repeatedly over the past year to physically distance from one another, both Dr. Clark and Dr. Soche want to remind everyone that connection and the ability to talk things out with others is crucial.
It's about talking to people and making sure you feel connected. There's no medication that I can prescribe or any therapy I can recommend that will give people a sense of closeness to others that we need.
And so whatever your reaction is, that's it. It's okay. Being able to talk about it, though, is very helpful.
I'm Chloe Nordquist reporting.
Some employees of Darden restaurants are getting a raise. Darden owns several major chains, including Olive Garden, Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen, and Longhorn Steakhouse. The company says its hourly employees will be taking home at least $10 an hour, including tips, starting next week. That will increase to $11 next year and to $12 in 2023. The change will affect about 20% of workers. With hopes the travel industry is going to bounce back to pre-pandemic levels, JetBlue has launched a new travel site. The new JetBlue travel site provides hotels, car rentals, and activities personalized based on your flight info. Customers using the site will earn True Blue frequent flyer points that they can redeem for other travel rewards. One selling point for the travel site is that JetBlue claims its award-winning customer service people will be available to troubleshoot or answer any questions.
Hello everyone, I'm 9 First Warning Meteorologist Sherry Hughes. We got into the low 70s today, and this evening we will have clear skies, but clouds will be building, and overnight we'll start to see some showers and also storms develop. We could even pick up an isolated strong to severe storm, as you can see a portion of the tri-state from Cincy southward and portions of southeast Indiana are under a marginal risk of maybe one of those storms or two becoming a little stronger with some gusty wind and also hail. Rain, though, likely won't move in until, I'd say, 1 or 2 a.m. It will be very quick moving across the tri-state, so by 8 or 9, getting up in the morning, it'll all be done. We'll be left, though, with some gusty winds out of the west, gusting upwards to about maybe 30 miles an hour. Cloudy conditions, but skies will begin to clear as we head into the evening. So here's a look at your forecast. We're going to be, again, in the mid-50s at 8 in the morning with maybe a few showers still around. Temperatures still sliding down, 52 at noon, 50 at 4 p.m., and we're at 46 by 8 p.m., but we're dry.